So I'm looking at Rolling Stones for a magazine cover. So with Rolling Stones, they've chosen to add their text coming on the Kurt Cobain magazine cover. Their text is on the right hand side, which can be seen as unusual, since it doesn't essentially follow the conventions seen of a magazine cover, which is normally on the left hand side, because then they could show that's normally where like the barcode would be, and then that's how they set out the magazines in shops, where they have the left side showing, so they show a little bit, and then you could see the features of what would be in the magazine sometimes as well. That's what they sometimes show on the left hand side. Normally they so yeah, as I said, they normally set out on the left hand side, but generally Rolling Stones has a red masthead in a 3D style. They have an outline that's black, making the masthead stand out and more distinctive. The typography is curved, relating to the Rolling Stones type of the name of it. This style makes it have edges that are quite sharp as well, and makes it look dynamic. On occasions, they do have blue, grey, white, and gold colour text for the masthead to add variation. It could also be due to what colour the people are wearing in the frame, so it adds a good contrast between each other, and so it looks appealing and comfortable as well. For the most part, the background is white for the Rolling Stone covers I've seen. With it being white, it means that you won't be distracted by anything in the background, but it makes a person stand out much more on the cover. We do see darker background colours as well. With these, they still show white, so as if they're creating a shadow. So I saw this, I think, with the Eminem magazine cover and the Sam Smith one as well. But it did sort of relate to the dark black clothes they were wearing as well, and it did have sort of more of a powerful look towards it, which I felt looked really nice. Sometimes there's a whole grey colour concept that's used for people who I think have passed away or related to someone who's passed away in some type of way. So I saw this with Tupac, Hitler, and Janet Jackson. This adds the feel of an old school influence as well, and I think it's quite nice to sort of distinct it like that in a way. But I don't think they've done it for everyone who's either passed away or anything like that. So they haven't done it for Kurt Cobain. But now focusing on him, and the Montage of Heck, which is his documentary. They used a photo from. Well, it wasn't their photo they used. It was a photo from somewhere, but we can't exactly tell because of how close up they are. With them using a photo from the past, it means they couldn't implement their particular white background and having him look directly at the camera because he's looking away. And with him not looking at the camera and looking into the distance, it adds an emotional pull towards the image and for the audience reminiscing memories of him. Opposite to the other magazine covers, he's really close to the camera and they have focus all on him. This makes the image even more powerful and keeps you engaged. The image is really crisp, showing great detail. Looking at the image, I gain an old school type of retro feel, and I think that's due to sort of his hairstyle and the old fashion, and because it's sort of like an old fashioned 90s looking away. That's what I believe, so yeah, it just has that type of feel towards it. I guess from what other type of retro stuff I've seen, and how people try and possess the retro style in this generation as well. They've chosen to add to have the text down the right hand side, as I said before. If it was on the left, it would have been covering his face, which would have looked unprofessional, and potentially could have showed no appreciation for what he's done in his career, and shows they have no respect for what he's done, and they've decided to alter their style for him. The text is white with a gold outline, which links with the blonde hair. With the text on the left hand side, they're talking about various other subjects that will come in the magazine, leaving the audience to have the opportunity to know what else is in the magazine. So then they know it's just not based on one whole thing. So then they also know because it could be someone who's not actually read the magazine before, and they could then see a story that does interest them in a type of way, and then that could be another sell for them by just seeing it on the front cover. They have introduced little gold bridges that space out each feature in the magazine. So on the right hand side, between each piece of text that talks about stuff that will be in the magazine, they have like this little gold bridge, like little gold bar. Little things like that. It shows that they care about the fine detail and want to present a great magazine. The issue of Rolling Stones, the certain issue, it was published on the 23rd of April in 2015, and the documentary of Kirk, the Montage of Heck, was released in November of that same year. Even though the magazine doesn't directly mention about the documentary, it does build up hype since there would have been advertisement on TV at that time about the Montage of Heck coming up, and it did show that because the documentary was coming, that they chose to go back and then have him as their front cover. Having a magazine cover with him months before the release would build excitement for it as well. They aren't really promoting the doc, but they're still looking into him as a person. Maybe they feel that they couldn't promote it and talk about it without giving away parts of the documentary. So just having a cover of him and then talking about certain stuff that he's done in a way, I guess, or maybe even some interviews as well. I guess maybe that was their way of sort of promoting it, and then maybe inside with some of the interviews or what they talk about, they do mention the Montage of Heck.